Hey YouTube, Jake Kilroy here for Shop ADHD. Some viewer mail, some shop acquisitions, a little rant, a little this and that. First off, I may be last, but I hope I'm not least. Check out the new lid. That is correct. Kearney Trucker, Milwaukee. Well done. And, sorry Randy, I didn't lose the letter, but I feel for you, man. Paul Jacobs, as y'all all probably know by now, sent me this wonderful Christmas present, Kearney Trucker hat, being the Kearney Trucker aficionado that I am. Thank you very much, Paul. I greatly appreciate it. He wrote, Jay, we've never met, but after watching some of your videos, you seem like an old friend. Thank you very much. I thought you might like something to go with that beautiful horizontal mill of yours. I wanted to have some Kearney and Trucker hats made with their old logo, but I could not find a sample on the web that was not a copy of a copy full of noise. I may be able to help you out, Paul. So I recreated it in a drafting program to the best of my ability. And let me tell you, Paul, you did a wonderful job. Somewhere in here, I have possession of a large Kearney and Trucker patch meant to go on a jacket. And it looks very, very similar. You did a great job. And he goes on to discuss an old Walker & Turner bandsaw that he rescued from a scrap heap and restored, and it's missing a number plate, but it looks like one built during the era when Walker Turner was part of K&T. Never knew Walker Turner was part of K&T. Thank you, Paul. I can add that to my huge memory bank of neat but nonetheless useless trivia. Anyway, that's his story and he's sticking to it. Thank you very much, Paul. Paul's from, by the way, Naples, New York. The hats were very well done. Thankfully, it fits, and I do mean barely. I have a rather large noggin, and these Velcro style sometimes are a challenge, but this looks like it's going to do. So, Paul, never fear. I will wear it with pride. And I'll try not to wear it when I'm working on the mill, because then dark black fingerprints would be superimposed on the bill. So thank you very much. Now for a little rant time. While at the store the other day, I was visiting the folks up in Ohio. All my Ohio viewers, how you guys doing? And I was at Lehman's Hardware, a somewhat well-known, link down below. Lehman's Hardware is a somewhat well-known hardware store that caters to the Amish and Mennonite community in eastern Ohio. Neat place to go, a lot of neat stuff. If you need a wood stove, they're pretty much the bomb. Anyway, while I was there, I saw this neat little new channel lock like pliers made or marketed by Milwaukee called the Torque Lock. And it has this neat little handle here, and they show a guy and sticking a screwdriver through there and cranking it down. So, you know, and they feel pretty good. They're not real loose and rattly like a lot of the, you know, El Cheapo imports. It says here, this may mean nothing, but it says here, Chromo, C-R-M-O. See if you can check that out. Now that might mean crap mo. I don't know. You know, they seem to suggest that the jaws are made out of some quality material. Just a sec. Why don't we find out? Now, by including those letters in there, I would think they means this is made out of quality hardened chrome moly steel, right? If that is the case, said file should just skate right across the surface, no doubt. Doesn't sound like skating to me. Try that again. It's not hard. It's not even close to hard. It has a similar hardness to, say, mild steel. Anyway, they look like they're usable. They were cheap. It was like $8, I think. So, but this is what I really want to bitch about. The packaging. Now, you're looking at this packaging and you're wondering to yourself, what's wrong with that? Kind of standard big box store fare, right? Plastic with the "do not steal me" strip in the back. And, well, looking at it, nowhere on the tool is the country of manufacture expressed. Nowhere on this tool does it say China. Does it say Japan, even though obviously this wouldn't be made in Japan? Does it say Taiwan? Does it say USA? It certainly doesn't say USA. I'm sure if it was made in USA, it would be proudly emblazoned right on the side in multiple colors with a picture of the flag. But it doesn't. Nowhere on the tool does it say where the thing's manufactured. And then, only if you look back here, it says, engineered by Milwaukee Tool, professionally made in Taiwan. And then it goes on to say down below, Milwaukee Tool, Brookfield, Wisconsin, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, let's think about this phrase. Engineered by Milwaukee Tool, professionally made in Taiwan. That means they didn't make it, they outsourced it to somebody else. Professionally made. Professionally means somebody did it for money. Two cavemen knocking rocks together for money, and that's professional. So that's meaningless BS marketing jargon. Engineered by Milwaukee Tool, professionally. They're obviously somewhat embarrassed that it's made in Taiwan. Nothing against the country of Taiwan, but it's not the United States. So they hide it back here in this tiny little print that I have to take my glasses off even to read. So, anyway. So, you remember, I recall I said I paid $8 for these. 8 something, $8.47, something like that, $8. They weren't real expensive. How much more would they have been if they had been made in the United States? Let's say double. $16, $17 counting for the change. Let's say these cost $17 brand new if they were made in the United States versus the 8 something bargain basement price for these professionally made in Taiwan units. Would you have paid $17 for this plier versus 8 something if you had known, given the choice. Made in Taiwan, $847. Made in the good old USA for $17 or $18. Would you, as my viewer, pay the extra for the American-made product? There's the poll for the week. Personally, I would. Look, we got a visitor. Come here. Come here. Oh. People ask about the cat all the time. Oh. Well, as you can tell, she's growing, doing quite well, getting quite used to the shop. And when it's cold, she's quite affectionate. Otherwise, okay, there we go. All right, what else? Oh, walking down the street the other day, walking from my residence to the shop, and while stepping over a pothole, a rather large pothole, in a sidewalk, no less, I found this. It is a snap-on half-inch ratchet. By the looks of it, there's some serious pitting here. I think the part number, of what I can read, I can make out an S, a 7, a 4, the top of another number. I can't make it out. It could be an 8, it could be a 9, it could be a 3. That's all I can make out because it's heavily pitted. This portion here is also was heavily pitted and rusted, and the only functional damage to the unit is the selector is missing. So I'd like to buy a new selector. If anybody can identify this ratchet, I'll give you a close up here. So that I may requisition the proper parts to fix it, I would greatly appreciate it. It was really nasty. I soaked it in a vat of WD-40 for quite some time, took it apart and cleaned it, and the internals are in miraculously good shape. So I took it apart, cleaned it, lubed it, put it back together, and it's extremely smooth. Of course, anybody that owns any Snap-on tools knows you get what you pay for, but this was the cheapest Snap-on tool I've ever purchased. Now, for the shop ADHD project, I need a new plug, electrical plug that is, and I've got a dryer socket. My favorite type of plug to use for machinery, $8. Okay, $8, and it's rated for, this is a Leviton, it's not some El Cheapo, it's a Leviton, and it's rated at 30 amps, 250 volts. $8. You can buy twist lock plugs if you want for $30 a side. No thanks. The other side, by the way, is also $8. So $16 for a matching pair of 30 amp rated, UL tested quality electrical components is pretty darn cheap. So I needed to find a home for this. Well, I got some of these boxes made by a company called Red Dot, that were removed from a piece of machinery that came that I used for another product, an OEM application, and fits right on in there, perfect. But as you can tell, I have a solid plate. that I need to put this size hole in. And that's right, it's some kind of cast magic. Not quite aluminum, not quite, who knows, a little bit of everything in there. So you're like, ooh, that's not going to be, you know, your chances of blowing this thing to pieces are obviously good. So we are going to put a hole in this for this so that it can go in that. So let's get set up on the mill to do the job. All right, so pretty much the hole has to rest right in the middle. So we're just going to take, I've just markered this up a little bit. I'm going to take my scale, center it pretty close, get it eyeball good, and there you go. That's where our hole needs to go. Our hole needs to be this big. So how are we going to punch that hole? Do I have a hole saw that size? What we got? Let's check it out. Alright, this is the tool we're going to use to cut our hole here. This is a Val-Cut trepanning tool and bits. This little arm here has a cut in the end of it. And into that cut goes this vicious little booger. Alright, and like so. And then you adjust your position obviously by loosening this clamp bolt and moving the whole bar back and forth. And if you're using it in a drill press or something, you might want to use this guide bit, but in a mill you really don't need the guide bit. If you want to do bigger holes, you have bigger bars. This bar here holds the same style cutter right in there. Obviously this moves along the bar as well as the bar can move in the cutter, and you can put multiples of these on a bar and cut disc or rings. There's all sorts of, the possibilities are limitless here. Again, it's made by a Swiss company called Val-Cut. The stuff's not cheap, but when it comes to trepanning, these guys pretty much are the bomb, at least for this type of work. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get a bit mounted in here, and then we're going to get over to the mill and cut this hole. Alright, with the mill, the Val-Cut mounts in a 5/8 collet, and just running the knee up here a little bit. We're going to fire up in back gear and go ahead and take a cut. This won't take long. you go. It cuts some weird swarf, and that cutting edge is razor sharp, so watch it. But the hole is fantastic. Cuts a smooth, burr-free hole in the top and the bottom. You know, you really can't beat it. So got one more of these to do. I had 2 of them. All right, here we are. There you go. And it does create a beautiful burr-free hole. There isn't a burr inside or out. I mean, this hole is ready to go. No secondary operation required. The slug, on the other hand, is a death device. You don't own a knife that sharp. It leaves just this wicked single-edged, death disc. I'm going to throw this in the trash immediately before I end up in the emergency room. There you go. Val-Cut trapinning tools. Good stuff. Get that automatic eBay search working. Find you some if you need some. That's about it. Again, if anybody can identify this ratchet, the only numbers I can get off of it are 7 and 4. Everything else is kind of corrupted. We're going to be back on the drill press, as you might have noticed. Got the spindle out of the drill press, so we're going to get back on the drill press next. And keep on keeping on. So be safe in the shop, and I'll be back with you soon. I think the cat wants to give the be safe in the shop. I'll be back with you soon.